Good morning, Novelty Middle School students. This is Mr. Woolley again, and we are going to work with Lesson 3 today, continuing on with our integer work. Today we're understanding addition of integers. So they'll still be talking about using that integer game where you just draw cards that have integers on them, positive, negative numbers, and we total them up. And we'll still work a little bit with number lines today. Remember, when you're adding a positive number, you're counting up. You're moving to the right end of the number line. And when you are adding a negative number, you're counting down, you're moving left on a number line. So counting up a negative 4 is the same as the opposite of counting up 4, which also means counting down 4. Kind of confusing there, but we're not going to spend too much time on that. We'll get into our examples. For each example above, what's the distance between 2 and the sum? Between 2 and the final answer is 4 units here, and between 2 and my final answer is 4 units here. So does that sum lie to the right or to the left of 2 on a horizontal number line? Well, in the first line, it's to the right, and on the second diagram, we're to the left. Now, would that be above or below on a vertical number line? Well, if we had a number line going straight up and down, our first diagram would be above the 2, and our second diagram would result in going below the 2. Given the expression 54 plus 81, determine, without finding the sum, means I don't want us to find the answer, the distance between 54 and that sum. Well, since I'm taking 54, then I'm adding 81 to that, it'll be 81 units to the right. When adding a positive number, remember you move to the right. So we didn't want the final answer, they just want to know that distance between 54 and what the answer would be. Well, it's 81 places. Is that sum to the right or to the left of 54 on the horizontal number line? To the right. And if it was a vertical, we'd be going above, we'd be going up. Given the expression 14 plus negative 3, determine without finding the sum the distance between 14 and that sum. Well, if I start with 14, then I have to add a negative 3. I'm going to have to go 3 units to the left. And that's where my final answer would end up being. But remember, when adding a negative number, you are going to move left. So that sum will be to the left of 14 on the number line. And it would actually be below 14 on a vertical number line because I'd have to be moving down. All right, let's take a look at negative 5 plus 3. So start at your 0 and move left 5. And then start another arrow, move up just right slightly above that. And then move right 3 because it's a positive number. Final answer, negative 2. All right, so here, turn the page here. Negative 6 plus a negative 2. So I start at my 0 and move left 6 to start. Then I have to add negative 2. I continue to move left all the way to a negative 8. Our next example is 7 plus negative 8. Start at my 0 and I move right 7. And then I start another arrow just above that. And then I move left 8. And my final answer is at negative 1. All right. Next example says write an equation and using the number line create an arrow diagram given the following information. The sum, so I know I'm dealing with adding, of 6 and the number of 15 units to the left of 6 on number line. So I'm going to have to add 6 in something that's going to move me 15 units to the left. Well, something that's going to move 15 units left is a negative 15. So 6 and a number of 15 units left, well, that's a negative 15 if I'm moving 15 left. And if I do add those together, it should give me a negative 9, which you'll see in our number diagram here. So I move right 6, then I go start another arrow above there, move left 15, takes me to a negative 9. All right, here's some problems to take another look at. If we were going to complete this table, I'm not going to go through all these, you can kind of figure some of these out. Like, for example, if you have 2 degrees in the morning, and then it rises 8 degrees, well, that would be 2 degrees plus 8 degrees to give you 10 degrees. For example, if you had a negative 2 degrees, though, then temperature fell 6 degrees. Well, if I start at negative 2, and then I fall 6 degrees, that's a negative 6, that's going to leave me at negative 8. Afternoon temperature would be a negative 8. So, like I said, I'm not going to go through all these. You can take a look at them and pause your video if you need to. All right, let's take a look down here. It says Terry selected 2 cards. The sum of her cards is a negative 10. Can both cards be positive? No. 2 positives can't be a negative sum. So there's no way that you could take 2 positive cards and get a negative answer out of that. Could one of the cards be positive and the other negative? Yes, as long as you have 10 more negatives than positives. So for example, you could have a negative 12 and a positive 2. You could have a negative 15 and a positive 5. So as long as you have more negatives than 10 more negatives than positives, they'll add up. Could both cards be negative? Definitely. The sum of 2 negative numbers could be negative 10. I could have a negative 5 and a negative 5. Or I could have a negative 2 and a negative 8. So definitely could have those kind of situations pop up. All right, playing the integer game, the first 2 cards you selected were a negative 8 and a negative 10. What's the value of your hand? Well, a negative 8 and a negative 10 result in a negative 18. What's the distance of that sum from a negative 8? Well, it's 10 units to the left. If I start at negative 8, and then I have to add a negative 10, that means I got to go 10 units to the left of the negative 8. What if you discarded that negative 10? So that means I got rid of this card up here in the original, and selected a positive 10. Now what would the value of your hand be? Well, now the problem has changed. It's a negative 8 plus a positive 10, and that'll give me 2. Number 4, given the expression 67 plus negative 35, can you determine, without finding the sum, the distance between 67 and that sum? Yeah, because you take 67 and then you move 35 units to the left because it's a negative number. So it would be distance be 35 units and it's to the left of 67. And let's draw an arrow diagram here. The sum of negative 4 plus a number 12 units to the right of negative 4. Now, the only thing that's going to make me move 12 right is a positive 12. So negative 4 plus 12 should equal an 8. Let's prove it. If I move left 4, let's start my new arrow here, move right 12, that takes me right to the 8. All right, thanks for watching, and go ahead and take a look in Schoology, and there should be some practice problems waiting for you. Good luck.